His heart is a feather in all kinds of weather. He sings his cattle call.
The sickest I ever got in Tanzania was due to a cow. I was riding my motorcycle and a cow forced me off the road. I just wouldn't pay attention. I kept banging on the motorcycle and making noise and screaming and yelling, and the cow just didn't care. It wanted its part of the road and just pushed me right into the drainage ditch on the side, and I scraped my knuckles. So I washed it with soap and water and I kept it clean. I thought it was okay. And I had no idea that it was infected or anything like that. It scabbed over, it seemed okay. I didn't feel well that evening. I felt feverish and I thought maybe I have malaria or something. So I took a couple of Aralen. Anyway, went to bed. And I woke up about 2 or 3 in the morning and I was burning hot. And I said, oh my God, I guess I really do have malaria. Nothing else crossed my mind. And so I got up and I took a couple more Aralen. I figured they couldn't do me any more harm than I was already suffering from right then, and went back to bed again. And another hour or 2 later, I woke up and I was really, really sick. I could hardly raise myself up in bed, and I knew that it was not malaria then. It had to be something more serious than that. I ached all over and I was feverish and I just hurt. And I realized at that point that the hottest point on my body was that hand where the scab was and where my knuckles had been abraded. And I said, I must have blood poisoning. The problem was I couldn't get out of bed. I was so sick, I couldn't get out of bed. I finally managed to roll out of bed and I crawled into the living room. Our first aid kit was up on top of the mantle and we had a stone fireplace, and I remember climbing up the stones. I finally got to the mantle and I managed to get the first aid kit down on my head, but I got it down. The doctor had given me penicillin, and I didn't know, the recommended dose was something like 200,000 or 300,000 units, but I knew that I was going to die if I didn't do something serious right then and there. So I think I took 1 million units of penicillin. I figured I didn't think I had a penicillin allergy, and I was so sick I was clearly in deep yogurt. I grabbed the bottle and started back to the bedroom. And I only got as far as the bed when I collapsed on the floor. And bottle in hand, lying next to the bed, my feet through the door, partway through the doorway, and my cook came in, Omari came in, and because it was Sunday morning. So he set the table for breakfast, for Sunday breakfast. He saw me. He thought I was in a drunken stupor. I'd come home and had one too many the night before. He very quietly worked around me so as not to disturb me. He saw my feet there, and but he didn't know what was going on, so he just didn't bother me. And we were good friends, when I told Omari the story afterward, he felt terrible because he hadn't done anything, but how would he possibly have known? So anyway, he's gone. 6:30, 7 o'clock, I woke up and realized that he had passed by and that I was there on my own, but I felt a little bit better. So I took another couple 100,000 units of penicillin and managed to crawl into bed, and I slept till maybe 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, I got up out of bed, walked into the kitchen, grabbed myself a glass of water. Felt a little funny, I must say, but I was on my feet. After a couple more hours, I felt, the fog cleared. I hitchhiked a ride into Lushoto and went to the infirmary there, and they told me I was a lucky man to be alive. So that was my experience with a cow in Tanzania.
Weather he sings his cattle